Black Tengu Productions.
Hello everyone, this is Black Tengu Productions and welcome to my video. We're going to start off with cleaning, the fun part. This will be my first vivarium ever and first non-aquatic animal. Enjoy. This is my girlfriend right now helping me out clean the tank. I did a lot of cleaning before this, it's just the finishing touches. Just making clean, just using some vinegar, water solution. And let's get into hardscape, the fun part. So right now I'm just kind of placing the cork bark and making sure everything's the right height, leaving about 5 inches for the drainage layer and another 2 or so for the substrate. Just trying to create this kind of look where it's just the background is the side of the tree and all these branches and pieces of wood are coming out. Just designing, trying to figure out moving things around. I wish I used some hardwood, but this is fine for now. I think the cork bark works really well in giving the side of the tree look, whereas hardwoods would have been more like foresty and more like it's in the rainforest kind of look, rather than the side of a tree. We're still planning and trying to figure things out. In a little bit you'll see me use a light and turn the lights off because I'm trying to figure out just kind of how the shadows sit, because that's where the light's going to be placed. So I think that's going to change a lot how everything's placed and where the ground gets light. Think of this. Nuts.
I want this piece and that piece to trade.
Sure. Alright, we have our background location set up and off to foaming. I'm using regular pond foam I found at Lowe's. Pretty darn expensive. Let me know if you guys had any tips on how I did this, because I'm sure we didn't do it very well. There's a lot of holes and gaps. Maybe we should have done way thinner layers. It's probably my fault. But hey, this is my first one. We went through like 6 or 7 cans of this stuff. Yeah, it was expensive. Now let's cut all this foam. Now this is where I really regretted using so much foam. And there were so many deep, big pockets. No, don't use as much foam as I did. You really don't need that much. Lesson learned. Here I got a shop vac from Home Depot, and we're just, oh, not sponsored, Home Depot, and we're just scraping all this down and trying to make it so that the silicone can adhere to it, which is another painful process we'll talk about in a little bit. And then kind of lining up the edges and just make sure everything looks smooth as possible in the shape that I want. As you can see now, there's cork bark silicone to the background. That was a painful process. It was smelly. We both nearly passed out and were coughing. But here we are. I'm trimming up the edges, cleaning up the sides, getting all that silicone out, trying to make it as clean as possible. We're going to bring it outside and just try to shop vac all that cork bark. It got everywhere. And it still isn't the best job because you can still kind of see the silicone through. If you could use black silicone, I highly recommend it, but I couldn't find any. So clear is what we had. I'm using, I think, grade 1, 100% silicone. I think grade 2 has mold inhibitors, which isn't the best for frogs, or anything really. Yeah, GE grade 1 silicone. Front door conversion. So this is what it looks like set up on the aquarium stand. I had one of my friends 3D print the front door sliding rails for the top and bottom. As you can see, it's kind of taped, and then I silicone it in place. And it's filled because I didn't record the rest. I think I used way too deep of a layer, drainage layer, but can't really go wrong. So I got my glass cut at Lowe's, and then I siliconed these 3 sectioned rails using some, actually not silicone, I used this Loctite to bond that to the glass, and it did a pretty good job, except for the plastic rails get sometimes misaligned because I couldn't get them to fit perfectly. But it works. It's a cheap, easy solution, you know. Wasn't a big deal. The buddy did it for me for free. That's a little tube piping I use for my 180-gallon aquarium, so we can get to the bottom and drain it when we need to. Now, getting the top rail, which is going to end up just skipping to later, in place was really difficult. The rail wasn't quite thick enough, and so there's kind of a gap based off of the size glass I have. And you'll see in a little bit that I ended up just using a mesh, and it actually was a good thing that it wasn't big enough, because now I have much better airflow. With how much I'm going to be misting this, I want good airflow. It's good for the plants, especially because you'll see some begonias that I'm going to be having in my next video when I start doing plant unboxing and planting. They really don't like water just sitting on their leaves. They really like that airflow, and so that really helps with that. As you can see, the top rail is now in. I'm adjusting it, kind of playing with it. And I use Loctite to get that in place. I Loctite it onto the plastic sides. And this is the mesh I use to allow to kind of fill in that gap so the frogs or a lot of the bigger bugs can't easily get out. And it allows for really great airflow. It's not in this video, but later on I end up adding a mist system, just drilling holes into that top plastic rail. And then I have a little fan, computer fan, that is kind of put to the front to kind of blow air out, and it really helps with preventing fogging. I have it run when I mist and a little bit longer. Really keeps water from just sitting on plants and just allowing good airflow, and so I can actually look at this and enjoy it. And as you can see on top of my vivarium are AI Hydra 26 LEDs, super expensive. I would have resold them, but AI just released their new product line, so now these are even way cheaper than when I bought them. So I was just like, let's just repurpose it, because this 40 breeder actually was for my reef tank, which was absolutely painful to take care of, along with my 180 gallon tank, and I just couldn't bear it. So let's repurpose it, and it does pretty well. I can modify the spectrum and get whatever light, color, and enough par, because I have a par meter for my plants. So it worked out really well. And that's the finished product, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions or suggestions how I can make this better, or any tips I can give you guys to do this better than I did, because you definitely can. Repurpose, use the tools you got, and follow along for the next video where I'll do some planning and some plant unboxing. Let me know if you guys can guess what kind of dart frogs I got, if you haven't already guessed that I got dart frogs. And also let me know what are your favorites, because I'm still pretty new to this. Thanks. Deuces.